dun, dun, dun. Hello, beautiful people. It's me. Hold on, my chair's crooked. It's me, Rosalind Carpenter Briscoe, your favorite spiritual life coach. Sorry for the delay. If you've been waiting for me to get started, I had some Mercury retrograde level computer issues getting me going, and I had to get it fixed. So here we are, fixed. I think it's ready. Okay. How are you, my beautiful people? I am so grateful to have you here today. I'm grateful for the day. I'm grateful that we started a new week. I'm grateful for all kinds of things. I am simply grateful for you. Welcome to the magic and the crystal. I am certain that you are going to love today, because today is day 8. And if we are going to get all the way to our 28 days, then this next day's stuff is vital to the journey. Because why? Today's topic is what? Food. Today's topic is food, right? So remember, we are reading the magic. We are doing the program of the magic, and we are adding crystals. The magic and the crystals. So today is all about, what is it called? The magic ingredient. And it is literally about saying grace, right? So some of you have grown up saying blessing your food before you eat it. Some people didn't grow up with that tradition. I can tell you for fact, one of the reasons that helped me fall in love with my husband is that when we ate together, regardless of where we were, and right when we met one another, she blessed her food. Now, I know that seems like kind of what's the big deal? Two things it symbolized to me. One, when you take time to bless your food, you're taking time for gratitude for the food that you're about to eat. So you're not taking the food that you have in front of you for granted, right? So that made me really feel good, because, gratitude's really important to me. The second thing was, she wasn't afraid to do it in front of me, which some people feel self-conscious about their spiritual practice when they do it in front of other people, right? So some people are fine. There'll be some people who will bless every morsel that goes into their mouth when they're either at home, alone, or only in front of their family. But if they go out to a restaurant, particularly if they go out to a restaurant with work people, they don't bless their food then, and they don't take the time to do it. Now, nobody's saying everybody has to hold their hands and, we have to say it all the things, because the point, that's all show, right? At that point, if you're doing it with work colleagues out at a restaurant, that experience is show, unless, of course, you're a spiritual community and you're doing it together, because then it becomes authentic. If you are at a group of people and you don't know anything about how anybody's going to receive your blessing of your food, that really doesn't have anything to do with them, right? So what do? You bless your food silently. You just say thank you. You just take the time. to look at your food. I often will simply look at my food and close my eyes and breathe it in while I'm saying a thought of gratitude. It doesn't have to be some big show. Okay? I just want you to understand that. One of the things that everyone, regardless of what kind of food you eat, how you qualify yourself, I'm a vegetarian. So regardless of anything else having to do with the food, right? The one thing that we can all agree on is that no one can function without water, right? So that's why I loved this quote that was in the book. If there is magic on this planet, it is contained in water. That's Lauren Isley, who's an anthropologist. So, yeah, water is everything. So maybe you do bless your food, but do you bless everything? Do you bless as you're drinking a glass of water? See, I got to tell you, this is my favorite water bottle. And it is my favorite water bottle. You can hear it's a little noisy because inside the bottom, you can't see it, but inside the bottom is a stone, because of course there's a stone in my water bottle. Hello, have you met me? Because it is a Shivalingam. Actually, we'll talk about those on another day. It is about pranic energy, which is your life force energy. And so I put it in my stone to encourage that energy to be in the water, and B, every time I drink it, it is a statement of gratitude about the life force energy that water is offering to me. So I want to, like, no one can function without water. You can go days without food, but only hours without water. So, of course, water is the real magic in all things, right? It is also the thing that, holy moly, if it's not good, clean water. And that's really, I think, the thing that was missing from this quote was clean water is the magic, because that is the thing, right? There are all kinds of agencies that have been, or nonprofit organizations that have been formed in order to help people who don't have easy access to clean water, to get them access to clean water. So digging wells, bringing a sewage treatment away from the main water source for people, but all the things. So clean water is really the magic of the world. It would be what I say. Then my second quote for the day is once you have said thank you for everything, you are filled with gratitude for your life, because your life is filled with things to be grateful for. And that was me. So what's the deal, right? What's really important here? What's really important here is that food is a gift and a necessity, right? You need to eat. You need to have nourishment for your body. And each time that we get that nourishment, each time that we are afforded something to eat, we need to be grateful for it. It's funny, my stomach is like growling right now because because I haven't eaten yet. But I haven't eaten yet. I know I'm going to eat, and I know that at any given point, if there's something I want to eat, that's it. I can go out to my kitchen and get it, right? So that is something to be grateful for. The fact that I know that there is food in my kitchen. There are people that if they go to their kitchen right now, there is no food there. There are people who don't have a kitchen. So there are literally, not even like, as we stand here, sit here, be here together, you are watching me here on YouTube, which means there is something that you have already experienced that is something to be grateful for, right? Because we're able to do this. If you got up right now and walked into the other room, into your kitchen, is there food there? And if there is, are you grateful for it? Are you like, I don't want pasta again. I don't want rice again. I don't want, ah. Are you feeling like that? Or are you like, yes? I had a friend tell me once that she always feels abundant when she has rice. When she has plenty of rice, she feels abundant. And I completely understand this because you always know you can eat, right? Ask someone who's been on Survivor about how they feel about it, and they will tell you that that daily bowl of rice that they got was, often life-saving, because I think they have to like fish or hunt for their food, whatever. I never watched that show, but I do know that one of the reasons that they all lose weight is because for the first time they are limited to the amount of food that they are able to provide for themselves, or that this, like, the show can't let people starve on, like actually starve. So they feed them, but they only feed them the minimum amount. Like, they give them a certain amount, and that's what they got to work with, right? So there's that guy that was walking around naked all the time. He was the one that was the most famous for how much weight he lost. And it was, what was his name? Richard something. But I felt like you might have a different feeling about saying gratitude for your food if you found yourself in a situation like that, where you were like, oh my God, stuck in your car. It happens to be when I'm like traveling and all of a sudden I get stuck somewhere. I'm like a squirrel. I like have like chocolates and cookies and a little blah blah. There's usually a shooter of vodka and all the different places in my bags, because I randomly get stuck places, mostly airports, right? Mostly I'm stuck in airports, but then I don't want to spend $15 on a grilled cheese sandwich. So while I'm waiting, and plus, COVID, I'm not big on eating a lot in the airport. But at the same time, you still need to eat, right? You still need to get your little nourishment in. So you squirrel it a little here. Nuts are my favorite thing. However, this is something that I encourage my clients to do. This is something I'm about to share with you. It's something that I encourage my clients to do. And I am going to encourage you to do it, because when I did it in a retreat, and this is 20 years ago, if not longer, it was one of the most powerful experiences I have ever had in my entire life around food. And I used to be a weight loss teacher. I used to, was in one of those major weight loss companies. And I used to be a leader to help people understand how to eat better, do better, be better, lose weight, right? I spent a lot of time talking about how do you think about food. Most people wanted to talk about the actual food that they ate. I had intermittent success with that. Some people thought I was awesome. Other people were like, she talks too much about stuff I don't care about. But whatever. So it's called silent eating. Now, if you've never done it, the practice is to literally eat without talking. But it's not just eat without talking. It's eat without talking, without music, without a book, magazine, television, without distraction, I should say. Your only focus is your food. So, and it's not like literally your only focus is your food, which means, I eat by myself all the time, but I'm eating and I'm thinking thoughts and I'm like, oh, I wonder what blah, blah, blah. And, oh, I got to make sure that I go to dry cleaners, or did I remember to, so you're thinking thoughts and shoving food in your mouth, right? I do it all the time. So there's no judgment around it. What I want you to understand is silent eating is something that can be done with any meal. I like to do it if I'm going to be conscious about it. I like to do it at breakfast because or whatever your first meal of the day is, I should say, because I don't want you to say, "Oh, I'm not eating eggs and toast, so I don't have to say thank you." So I don't have to be quiet. But I want it, so whatever your first meal of the day is, like literally your first meal, sit with it. And you don't have to physically sit in a chair. Like I just want you to energetically sit with this food. Sitting down would be good. This will go with the second thing I'm going to say. Sit with it, look at it, smell it, even if it's cold. Often people don't smell cold food, they only smell hot food because hot food has lots of, things. But all things have scent, right? So smell it. Does it smell good? Is it something that smells like something you want to put in your body? Because the reality is, you should want to put it in your body, right? If it's food, if it's supposed to be nourishing you, it should be something that when you smell it, it doesn't smell repugnant. So focus on your food and slow down. Think only about where it came from and how it got to you. One of the things that she talks about in the book is all of the people that are involved in bringing the food to your plate, right? If you eat fresh fruit and vegetables, the growers had to plant and nurture the fruit and vegetables with continuous watering, protecting them from over months until they were ready for harvesting. Then there are the pickers, the packers, and the distributors, and the transportation people who had to drive enormous distances, unless you're going to the farmer's market, day and night, all of them working together in perfect harmony to ensure that every fruit and vegetable is delivered fresh to you and is available year round. Again, unless you're going to the farmer's market, which of course I'm going to suggest you should eat food that's where you are. It should be local, local, local. Eat local, local, local. Eat your food that comes from local sources as much as possible. Clearly, I'm going to say eat organic, all the things. However, for our purposes here, the point is think about where it came from. Think about where your food came from. If you're going to think while you're eating, remember we're talking about slowing down and we're eating, right? Think about where your food came from and how it got to how did it get there? Somebody had to go to the store and buy it, right? Or go to the farmer's market and buy it. And you had to get in a car and do this and have money to spend and all. There's so many pieces and parts of everything that got your food to your plate, that there's any number of places that you could start and be grateful. Then I want you to think about how that food is nourishing your body. What nourishment are you really getting from this food? And if you're like, I don't know about nourishment, my question is, why aren't you nourishing your body better? Why haven't you chosen something that actually nourishes your body? Are you eating fast food again? If you did go get fast food, are you getting the best nutritious option? Or are you getting something that's just going to fill your hole or is cheap, right? Did you go to the dollar menu? Okay, go to the dollar menu. What on the dollar menu is the most nutritious thing you can buy? We want to keep extracting, bring it down. What do they call it? Lowest common denominator, like in math, right? You want to keep bringing it down. Okay, so you got to go to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Cane's, which is here in Louisiana, and I think in Colorado now. They're getting out, but I don't care where you go. I'm not gonna. There's no judgment from me about the fact, that you decided to eat fast food. My judgment isn't a thing. The deal that we are going to consider, that I'm asking you to consider, is making the best nutritious choices available because you deserve it. Your body deserves the best nutrition possible. I used to lament when I lived in New York. I would go get what I call ghetto Chinese, and that's a whole nother conversation that we're just not going to talk about. But it's like it's Chinese as fast food, right? It's not a steam table like those places where you just scoop and put it in a thing. They're still cooking it fresh, but it's not a sit down fancy ass restaurant. It's like stand at the counter, order your food, go home. So I would go and I would order the food that I wanted all in a meal together. So it would be, I want broccoli and tofu with cashews, or I'd want this with that with this kind of sauce and steamed rice, not fried rice. Like they'd be different things, right? And what I would want would cost like $6, right? Again, this is a 20 some years ago, and B, not a fancy sit down restaurant, right? So I was already going for the cheap food anyway. And also, it was $6. If I wanted something that was just going to fill my body and make me not hungry anymore for the least amount of money, I could have gotten fried chicken wings and French fries, right? And you get 4 chicken wings and a pile of fries. I could literally have eaten 2 meals from that for $2. However, how much of it was actually nourishing me? It was really just filling my hole. So if we're going to choose food, I want it to be food that is good for us. I know I have gone long on this one because the food is really important to me, and our relationship to it is really important to me. And I've seen so many people and experienced so many people that have really lousy relationships with food. So I want us to be grateful for all the parts. And I want you to be grateful for you. Every time that you make a choice to eat something, I want you to be grateful to you for making that choice. Thank you for choosing something that's going to nourish me. So that's what we're doing. We're thinking about that in our silent eating. And then I think as each bite is going into your mouth, I want you to think about the food, how it tastes. Like, how does it taste? I remember the first time I did this was on retreat, right? So I wasn't alone. I was in a room full of people. We had all been retreating like all morning, right? Where you like talk about this and you blah, 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 and journal about this and crying and all kinds of stuff, right? So you've been dealing with all of this stuff all morning, and then it's time to eat. And generally, when you're on a retreat or some sort of workshop or whatever, when it's time for lunch, that's when you get to have your blah, 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 blahs out, right? That's when you, and the thing, and oh my God, and did you do this? Blah, 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 and I did, there's all of this, like this, right? And we were silent eating for our lunch that day. And so that meant that we got our food and we sat down with it. We blessed the food, had gratitude for the hands that made it and those that brought it to the table and those that served me. And then we just ate. And I noticed so many things. I promise you, this is going to be a pretty powerful experience for you. I noticed so many things. I noticed how I felt. I noticed how my body felt. I noticed as I was masticating, I love that word. As I was masticating the food, I was noticing all these flavors that I'm sure would have gone completely by me had I not been paying that close attention. It would have just been like, oh, this is good. What'd you do? Get the food in my mouth, talking to the people, right? No paying attention to the food other than maybe that first bite, right? Like maybe it's like, ooh, what is this? And I eat it and I'm like, do I like it? Yeah, it's good. I'll keep eating. That's not what we want. And now it's time to put a stone in there. So today's stone is amber. You've seen me wear this before, and you'll probably see me wear it again because I love this stone. This is amber. Amber is a resin. Technically, it's not a stone or a crystal because what it is fossilized. It's fossilized tree sap, which is why sometimes when you see it, it's got bugs in it. Because if you think about sap running down a tree, right, it goes, and then it hardens, and then it hardened, and then there was an ice age, and then it's melted again, and then blah blah. So now there's this thing, this shiny thing that, and it's not always shiny. Like, it's not shiny, it's actually kind of rough. People that have got purchased stone kits from me before will get something that is called picture amber, and it is rough on all the sides except for one where you can see it's like all shiny. See, it's shiny, but they had to do a lot of work to that in order to make it so. And it's shaped a specific way, which they also had to do a lot of work to. It's got all kinds of inclusions, none of which are a bug. Try to get the bug. The bug is the thing. But amber, so let's talk about what amber is. Amber is it's a protection stone. In, you know, a lot of people say it's a, you know, it helps you protect it. I generally wear it often as a kind of this harmony bubble that I have around me, so that when I'm doing things like going through airport security, or if I have to be in other places with a lot of people where there's a lot of energy that people are like, ah, and then I wear an amber as kind of this protective coating around me. Excuse me. The deal though is, what I want you to understand that what I would like you to do with your amber is I would like you to have it with you while you're eating. Because this is about bringing harmony to self, and bringing harmony to space, and bringing harmony to your well-being to self. And so what I would like you to do is have it with you, because amber is a third chakra stone. So third chakra, right? That's your solar plexus chakra, not your heart chakra, your third chakra. Okay. That's your trust center. Third chakra is connected to your sixth chakra, your intuition, right? So if you are having issues with your stomach, chances are great you have some sort of block in your third chakra, and you are having issues with trust. And this is trust of self. Remember, we're never talking about anyone else. We're always talking about self. So this is about issues of trust of self, or that kind of thing. And when you have digestive issues, there's definitely more than likely some sort of issue in your third chakra that has something to do with your trust levels. And if you are going to trust yourself, that means you have to believe your wisdom, that intuition that you have about things means that you have to trust it, third chakra, trust your intuition that all is well and that you will find, right? So if we're going to use amber as our stone for eating and gratitude for all that is, we are having this moment where we are sitting in our little harmonious bubble, having gratitude for the nourishment and all of the people that help bring that to your plate. Now, if you grew it yourself and harvested it yourself, and grew it and watered it and nurtured it. A lot of people have been growing their own food lately. Like during COVID, there are so many of my friends grew, particularly during quarantine, because it was springtime. So what happened? Everybody planted things and they grew it. Now people aren't doing it as much. Some people have totally gone whole hog and they're all about, I grow all the things. But the reality is, you still need to have the gratitude. You have gratitude for self, right? You have gratitude for sunshine. You have gratitude for the water that you were able to, clean water. Remember, grateful for the water. The water helps the plant feed itself so that it gets the nourishment, so then it can grow, and then you can cut it open, or harvest it and put it on your plate and eat it. And all of those things happen, and every one of those things is something to be grateful for. And then when you sit there in your space with your amber next to your plate, you are able to sit in gratitude in that harmonious little bubble that you've created for yourself, knowing full well that you are fully fed in all ways and you are grateful for it. That's it for today. It was kind of a long one, but it was really important. So I love you and I'm very grateful for you. And I will see you tomorrow. Get you some amber. Sit and be grateful quietly. I love you very much. Remember, you are illimitable. So go out and create a life that rocks. See you tomorrow.